Hello friends, this is Bharat and Meena Trivedi.
Varsha and Dilip.
Sapna
and Gaurav Lal.
Suvarna,
Arya,
and Manoj Khari.
Ilanga.
Sejal Desai,
Smita
and Vivek Chaudaha.
Anjali Desai,
T and Deepak Arora.
Pawan.
and Rinki Agrawal.
Sid.
And Archana Nair.
Danny.
and Rinku Mehta.
And Sunil Kiani.
Priyanka,
And Vinay Kedia.
I'm Johnny Jenkins.
Karen Fincher.
Raj.
and Aradhna Asava.
Together,
We support
good afternoon, friends. Here we are, bringing to you the HungerMitao program, along with updates on food insecurity in the North Texas area and across United States. We also share with you information on how the Indian American community is unifying to emerge as a big part of the solution to fight hunger locally.
Thank you for joining us. We are your hosts, Raj and Aradhna Asava, coming to you through the airwaves of Fun Asia, a key partner of ours in this fight against hunger. Friends, by the end of this show, you will not only get updates on the rampant hunger issue in the USA, but also know of all the ways in which each one of us, in the spirit of give where you live,
Give where you live.
can continue to make a difference. We can ensure that no one around us goes hungry.
That's right. Please visit ntfb.org/hungermitao to learn how this volunteer-driven movement is unifying the impact of the Indian American community to fight hunger in North Texas. All the information about ways in which you can engage can be found at ntfb.org/hungermitao.
Raj, I'd also like to thank RJ Neelam Dave
Yeah, she's been amazing.
for hosting us during the community hour each Saturday.
Thank you very much, Neelam. Aradha, where is the time going? We are already at the end of July.
I know, can you believe it?
While the pandemic environment prevents us from traveling or moving around as freely as we used to, boy, time is still flying away. Here we are, finishing the 7th month of 2021. And soon, it will be Thanksgiving and jingle bells,
Not so
it'll be
fast.
Christmas time.
No, not so fast, Raj. We are certainly closing July, but we are entering a very special month, August,
Yes.
the month in which India secured its freedom. I have such fond memories of my student life in India during this month.
Really?
We used to get ready for Independence Day celebrations, sports, marching bands, singing patriotic songs. There was such a buzz in the air, not just for August 15th, but actually for the entire month.
You're right, Aradhna. Now that you mention, I too remember the patriotic spirit that filled the air. We listened to wonderful, inspirational, patriotic songs all month. Which one was your favorite, Aradhna?
While "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logon" and Shaheed Bhagat Singh songs were gut-wrenching and brought tears to my eyes, I always found this song inspiring and extremely meaningful.
Do tell.
हम लाए हैं तूफान से कश्ती निकाल के इस देश को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के.
Happy Independence Month, friends. Aradhna, thousands of miles away from our birthplace, here in the USA, the Indian diaspora has declared India's Independence Month as HungerMitao Month. HungerMitao's early supporters, as many of you will recall, 3 years ago, we had a one-weekend fundraiser on August 15th to help raise food and funds for our local food bank.
And the Indian community responded with enthusiasm.
Energy.
The following year, this event grew into a week-long activity.
That's right.
Then, supporters asked for it to be stretched longer to accommodate back-to-school schedules.
And people were on vacation, so they wanted the entire month to get involved and engaged.
So last year, we celebrated it as the HungerMitao Month, commemorating India's Independence Month.
And this campaign that started with North Texas Food Bank has now spread to the entire country. Yes, friends, HungerMitao Month is now a national campaign. India's Independence Month is now celebrated across USA as Independence from Hunger Month.
That's phenomenal. And you know, last year, during Hunger Mitao month, North Texas Food Bank received over $50,000
Right.
from the Indian American community. NTFB stretches a single dollar to provide 3 nutritious meals for people in need.
That means 150,000 meals?
That's right.
Wow, all in just 1 month.
But $1 to 3 meals.
That is amazing.
What a phenomenal return on our investment. Can you imagine how fantastic it'll be if everyone in the Indian American community in DFW participates in this year's Hunger Mitao month?
I mean, it can be as small as a cup of coffee, right, Aradhana? Like
That's right.
$3 or $5, and you can still make a huge impact.
And listeners, you can do this from the comfort of your own homes. Just visit ntfb.org/hungermitao to donate. Remember, listeners, for $1, NTFB can provide 3 nutritious meals to our neighbors who need food assistance. So even a gift of $3 or $5
Yes.
makes an impact.
That's very true. That's very true. Imagine, listeners, this small effort of ours will help Food Bank put food on the tables of so many people. We have the power and the means to change lives, my friends. Come, let us join hands.
Raj, you played a beautiful song on the last show. And I heard you say that it was not from a movie, but an amazing performance by dozens of Bollywood stars on unity and solidarity.
That's very true.
Can we do that again?
Yes, and I think I may even have the lyrics down a little bit now. At least let
Okay.
me do the mukhra part of it.
Sure.
हाथ से हाथ मिला प्यार के फूल खिला. Harvest, NTFB's signature event, is also around the corner on September 11th at the Omni Dallas. This year, North Texas Food Bank is celebrating its 40th year serving the North Texas community. Here to tell us more about this wonderful event, Harvest, is Johnny Jenkins, our man in the field from the North Texas Food Bank. Johnny?
Hello, this is Johnny Jenkins, and I work at the North Texas Food Bank as a Foundations Giving Specialist. And as some of you might know, I am the point person for HungerMitao at NTFB. Today, I have with me Danielle Pestel, who is NTFB's Marketing and Events Manager, and she's in charge of the food bank's various events, as well as the upcoming Harvest. Danielle, welcome to the HungerMitao Weekly Radio Show. Can you tell us, for the benefit of our listeners, a little bit about yourself and what it is you do for the food bank, how you got here, and maybe a little bit about the various events that you help manage?
Sure. I have kind of an odd path to get into the food bank. I actually have my degree in speech pathology and then ended up working in nonprofits and ended up at the food bank. So not super traditional, but here I am, and I've been at the food bank almost 3 years now. So a long time and really, really loving it. But you're right, I'm in charge of the food bank's signature events, which I feel at this point is up to 4. We do Empty Bowls, which takes place in our warehouse. We do Truth of the Cowboys, which either takes place at the Frisco Star or at the stadium in Arlington. We now have a telethon, which of course takes place via your television. And then we have Harvest, which takes place in the fall and is actually historically at the Arboretum, but this year we're moving it to the Omni in Dallas.
Wow, that's really interesting. Well, as many of y'all, our listeners, might be aware, HungerMitao is actually one of the sponsors of this year's Harvest. So, Danielle, let me ask you a little bit more about Harvest. Can you tell us a little bit more detail about it? How long have we hosted this event, for example?
Sure. This is actually the 7th year. We took last year off because of COVID, but it usually looks really different. We're changing a lot about it this year, so that's probably the most important thing to note. Typically, like I said, it's held at the Arboretum, and it is what we call kind of a light bite event or a movable feast, if you will. So you walk around, there are different chef stations that have donated their time and their product, and you grab a bite and you mingle, and then you might walk over to the next chef station. That is how it's historically always been, but this year we're changing it, and it's going to be a seated dinner at the Omni, which we're really excited about. The food bank, to my knowledge, has never done a seated dinner like this for a large group of people. We're using it as a platform to launch our 40th anniversary in 2022. It will be the food bank's 40th anniversary year. So we're using it as a springboard for that. We're going to have a lot of really, really fun announcements. And I think it's going to be something that's really different for our guests that are used to our normal kind of traditional ways we do events.
Wow. All right. So as you just mentioned, this year is really special, and it's the 40th anniversary. So can you go into maybe a little more detail on how it can be conducted and any keynote speakers that we might have?
Sure. Really exciting. We have, 4 founders of the food bank, and the 2 that are still living are both going to be there. Liz Minyard is going to be the honorary chair, and then Catherine Hall, who is also one of our founders, and her husband are going to be our chairs of the event. So really gracious and really great to have them in the same room as us. And then Claire Babineau-Fontenot, who is the CEO of Feeding America and actually one of Time Magazine's most interesting people of 2020, is our keynote speaker. So going to be a lot of great conversation around hunger in North Texas, hunger in Texas specifically, but also in hunger in the United States. Claire brings a really, really interesting perspective, and it's going to be a great conversation.
Wow, it sounds really, really cool and exciting, actually. So with such a special occasion and, great speakers and people coming to the event, I'm sure that tickets are just flying right now. Can you help our listeners, if they're interested, know how they can get their hands on these tickets before it gets sold out?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of options. You can purchase a table, which would be for 10 people, or you can, of course, just purchase individual tickets, but all of that can be found at ntfb.org/harvest.
All right. Well, thank you, Danielle. Do you have any other closing remarks or any other details you'd like to provide our listeners before I hand the program back over to Raj and Anna?
Sure. I think just be on the lookout during our 40th year, like I said, which is 2022. There's going to be lots of community activations and a lot of history that we're going to be focusing on at Harvest. We're going to have this really neat timeline exhibit that shows really important years for NTFB and the way that we have grown as hunger in Texas has grown. And there'll be many, many things throughout 2022 to be on the lookout for.
All right. Well, Danielle, thank you again for joining us today. And there you have it, folks. The latest and the greatest about upcoming harvests. And back to you, Raj and Anna.
Thank you, Johnny and Danielle. Friends, tickets to this event are flying off the shelf. Last I heard, I think we only have
Handful of tables.
10 or 12 tables left.
That's right.
Visit ntfb.org/harvest to purchase a table for you and your guests. If your company may be interested in a sponsorship opportunity at this very, very publicized event, let us know.
That's right. Aradhna, the HungerMitao movement continues to grow as more and more people across the country are joining this phenomenal movement and helping their local food banks feed their communities and neighborhoods.
And we are so excited to share with our listeners that HungerMitao will be launched at the Tarrant Area Food Bank in Fort Worth on the eve of India's Independence Day. Yes, August 14th. Please come for this exciting launch and volunteering opportunity. You will meet local leaders and learn about the need for food assistance in the area, the food bank's vision, and plans for helping food-challenged people in need across Tarrant area. Details of this launch are on ntfb.org/HungerMitao. Please check it out, and don't forget to RSVP. We would love to see you there.
In fact, Aradhna, in the last radio show, I remember mentioning that if you live in Irving, South Lake, Wise County, etc., do plan to come there. But frankly speaking, if you are listening to our voice if you're in the North Texas area, anywhere in the DFW area, if you can come out there, please join us.
Yeah, please come join us.
Yes. It is very heartwarming and inspiring that the Indian American community is so engaged in helping North Texas Food Bank provide people access to nutritious food. We have become a force, my friends. The collaboration and unification is working and the results are visible. Listeners, if you have a few hours to spare, actually just 1 hour a week, and would like to become an activist in the fight against hunger, come join us. Be a part of the HungerMitao Steering Council for an extremely rewarding experience. You can contact us through ntfb.org/HungerMitao.
Friends, we live in a country where support is available for virtually anything. So if you need assistance with medical or mental health, please seek help. And if you need food assistance, please visit ntfb.org for information on where to get food. And of course, if you know anybody who is struggling, please help them find the resources. We can all help each other through these challenging times.
Now, as we close our program today, we thank you all for your generosity and for caring about others around you. North Texas Indian American community, thank you. Thank you for caring, for volunteering, for helping organizing awareness events, for running food drives, for making donations, for becoming multi-year donors, for giving your time, skill, for giving in kind. And thank you, Fanasia, for becoming the mouthpiece for HungerMitao.
It fills me with pride that the Indian American community in North Texas has stepped up to address the hunger issue. Our collective contributions have resulted in more than 11 million nutritious meals through North Texas Food Bank for people in need.
Aradhana, I think we are closing in on 12 million meals.
That's phenomenal. And across the USA, HungerMitao efforts have enabled more than 35 million nutritious meals for Feeding America and its network of food banks.
We look forward to your ongoing engagement and count on your involvement as we move towards the next milestone of 25 million meals by HungerMitao for North Texas Food Bank. Our mission, friends, is HungerMitao. And HungerMitao is as much about eradicating hunger as it is about unifying the fragmented efforts of our community and focusing it on the humanitarian cause of hunger. Let us come together as the entire Indian American community, north, south, east, west, doesn't matter, and show how we engage in any place we call home. We are smart, compassionate change agents who give where we live so our community benefits from our presence.
And until next week, friends, remember, while we may never be able to eradicate hunger, let us ensure no one goes hungry.
HungerMitao.